Peace, greetings, and namaskaram. And this is really an amazing day today and a very meaningful day for all of us here in the world. And today we are launching the Global Peace Series. And together with me, I have the honored and privileged to have Kashiji Sri Dinesh Kashikar ji from the Art of Living organization. We'll explain a little bit about who is he and the eminent space he holds in the world in the space of global peace. We'll speak about that in a while. Just before that, everybody will be wondering, amidst this Sundays that I've been conducting various weeks, I think it's going into almost 30 over weeks of this series that we have been meeting every Sunday, sharing about the inspiration that can give you through words, through, around the world, how we are seeing things and how things are moving for us, and to inspire us to be a better human being for ourselves, our families, and our world. So this is an evolved version of the weekly series, and I have to thank again my business partner, Mr. Ayappadas, for coming up with this amazing idea. And I'm really grateful to him for that. And of course, the connections of the Art of Living as well, through his work, that he's able to connect us to have today's guest as well. But most importantly, the Global Peace Series is coming about because of the work that is happening around the world in the name of peace and for peace. And we want to showcase, amidst everything that people are going through in their life, be it for the, struggle against race, religion, color, and the various, conversation people are having, about what is not peace. And we want to move away from what is not peace to really embody the message of peace for everybody coming from different walks of life. And I've been really blessed, I have to say, to connect with global leaders of different, different thoughts. And, those days when I started this journey of talking about the world coming together as one and all of that, and that was like not very long ago in 2002, everybody was looking at me and saying, oh, Ethiopian thought, no, nobody comes together. And everybody have an agenda and everybody. So I was really challenged with that thought. And I have, to some extent, condoned to that belief that, oh, yeah, there cannot be such thing. And what happened in the last couple of years is an emergence of beautiful, beautiful communities of business. And of course, not just business, but overall communities of peacemakers sprouting out everywhere around the world. And this Global Peace Series is going to showcase to you what is happening in the world where peace is prevailing in the most magnificent way. And you're going to be inspired to create that message for yourself and the world, because when we talk about peace, it is not something we are looking outside for. It is something that is already innately in us, and we have been, distracted from experiencing it. So our guest in the house will be the demonstration for you, to show you that peace is a way of life, and it is supposed to be, meant to be, and it's all other drama that we create. So let's get into today's guest, and a very, very, very close to our heart, Guruji, and I love to call him Kashi Ji. Is that okay, Ji?
Definitely, definitely. It's a pleasure to be here on this show with you, Azeeza.
Yes, Ji. So what we have learned about Kashi Ji, as he also was one of our main guests for the Global Prosperity Summit. That was a GPS too. And we have taken it forth to the next level of this GPS, where Global Peace Series is launching it with us. Kashi Ji comes, he's the Director of Teachers Training of the Art of Living, or rather, Global Sri Sri Yoga School. Let's be clear about that, a school of yoga. And that belongs to the Art of Living organization, which was established by the world-renowned, most honored humanitarian and a spiritual leader, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji, in the year of 1981. And in India, the organization has showed so much of presence across the world, 160 over countries with more than 450 million people impacted through their work, their causes, their materials. And I'm very inspired to share about them, because They have, when Shriji has gone into United Nations to speak on peace, and he has also been in the Middle East speaking to people on peace, and he's gone to grounds and places and China and India and everywhere around the world, 160 over countries, really impacting with the message of peace. And they have created a non-violent environment, a family, a global family. And I am a very, passive follower of the family, because I haven't got a chance to, really go into the program. But I'm an ardent follower of Sri Sri's work, watching his meditation programs and also participating in it for some time now. So we are very, very honored and privileged that we are able to start this session with Kashiji, being the teacher of all these teachers in the school and director in that. Thank you so much once again for being part of this journey.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, Dr. Azeeza. And it's been a very nice association with this GPS, whether it was Global Prosperity series or the Global Peace series. And I've been passionate about peace and taking this idea that Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji propounds, that it's actually a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, a one world family. We are all truly connected in so many ways, and it's only when we realize this that peace really dawns in each and every individual. And Gurudev says so beautifully, for world peace to happen, it needs to start with individual peace. And that's what, with every drop, an ocean gets created. And I think that's what all these sessions across the world, as people start getting this idea that it all starts with me, not with the other. I think that's where the peace really blossoms so beautifully. So
Absolutely.
I'm really happy to see these programs happening,
Yes,
and I'm just looking forward to what you have in store for us today.
well, we have in store you for us today. And what we are going to be doing, Kashiji, is to, we have this miracle game book, and I've been playing the game with people outside. We bring them into the room and we discuss about, what comes up for them. So instead of just talking about it as a miracle outside, we want to choose a word that will represent for the discussion today. And I would want you to play the game and choose a number for us, and we will use that words that's been showing, and we come up with your wisdom around it as well. I think that would be very meaningful. What do you say?
Whatever you say, Dr. Aziza, I'm willing to play the game.
Great, G. So we're going to jump in to the miracle game book, and very quickly we will be adding on ourselves. So the Miracle Game book is not a tarot card reading, as we always talk about it. It is a messages that was channeled to me, and I take it that I'm an instrument for channeling this. And because we are able to come to this context of understanding, where today we're not talking about challenges, we're today talking about what is the message we will be sharing with the world today. So that's the intention we are setting for this session. And so, Kashiji, give us a number between 1 to 100, please.
56.
56. Let's look at that. If you see, it'll just jump to the right. So this is the code that is coming up today. Just to let you know, G, there's 100 of them. And I'm the one who kind of like thought of it, and came through me. But when I see it, it's like as if I'm saying it for the first time too. So let's talk on this. And you want to read it out?
It's quite small for me. Is it
Oh,
possible?
okay. Okay. How about now?
Yeah, that's better. I think it needs to go scroll down a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Life has so much to offer. When we focus on what is less, we overlook the abundance that the Supreme Force has given or manifested in our life. Appreciation and gratitude for all that we have is the beginning to feeling that abundance.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to be, so Kashiji, you now take it over and share with us your wisdom on this.
This is so true. Um, just like a gardener, when the gardener is in the garden, if the gardener is giving more manure, more attention to the weeds, they grow more. But as a gardener, if I remove the weeds and focus on the flowers, on the plants, then that's what grows more in my life. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravishankarji talks about this very beautifully in just three words: intention, attention, manifestation. And I think this is so true. Whatever we intend, when we put our attention there, that's when it manifests. So in our life, if we focus on that which is uplifting, that which is beautiful, that which is true, that which is joyful, then that seems to definitely grow more in our lives. So in that sense, I would say that just like a seed grows into a tree and then gives fruits, in the same way, the seed of peace is there within each one of us. The seed of joy is there within each one of us. And we keep looking for it outside. But when we focus inside, that's when we find it. There's a beautiful story. Once upon a time, long, long ago, as good stories begin, there was a person who's out in the street, below the street light, looking for something. His neighbor came and said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Of course, yes, please look. I'm looking for something. I've lost my needle and I'm looking for my needle." So the neighbor also started helping. He was a nice person. So both of them were looking for the needle, and it was obvious that there was no needle there below the street light. The neighbor asked the person, "Where did you lose the needle?" And he said, "Well, I lost it inside my house." So he said, "But why are you looking for it here?" He said, "Because there's light here." A lot of times we tend to look for things not where we lost them, but where we think it's there. In the same way, joy, peace, all of this, we look for it outside, but truly this joy is inside. And that's why when we put our attention there, all of these things can manifest. And I think this is such a beautiful message to start this whole discussion with. Don't you think so, Aziza?
Yes, G. Yes, G. And it's directly also related to what the quote that came out today with the what consumes your mind controls your life. And if we are consumed with all the blame game, the justifications,
Mhm.
the victimized model of looking at things, and I have to admit, Kashiji, we all go through that process, and I have been stuck in that space for a long time. Asking why do people behave in this way? Why do especially when you go into the hard focused work, and that's what our Go Global or Shine Go Global mission is: global peace through global business. And here I am struggling with business people and asking why are they like that, and becoming the victim of the conversation for a long time before deciding. And that really got me to some extent, went into depression, suicidal, thoughts and all of that. So I went through that struggle inside me to find myself back, and that took a while because it's about controlling, more than saying controls. We allow that to control our mind and our life, whatever the thoughts that we have. So if they are in the positive space of gratitude and looking at the positive parts of life, then we allow positivity to control ourselves. If it's on the negative side, then we lose ourselves. And I lost myself for a while, actually, to really find myself. But it's always, what you say in Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mityoma Amritam Gamaya, right? So Shanti. So it's really about where the darkness that you can find the light. And this is the truth for me. And I so believe that is so. Don't you? I think you meet a lot of people, and I'm sure this is the same story. Everybody comes up in that space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think um, this life itself is a combination of both these things, and it's our choice where we want to put our attention. And I think for anyone to make that switch, what we really need is that inner strength, somewhere, some connection, something that can help us to move forward. And I feel that it's always easier when mm, you find some guidance, when you find that. That's why in almost all cultures across the world, whether you call it a guru, a saint, someone, or someone who's elder, someone who can guide. So all these words actually mean the same thing, and that's why there are guides. There are people who can take us. It's like if I know the way, then I can help others also to walk on this path. And I think we're all on this path together. And when we all walk, then we all need to support each other. And I think that's really the way in which we can go ahead. When you climb up a mountain, you tie each other with ropes, and then even if one person slips, then the others can help them to move forward. And I think this is where organizations like Go Global um, and the Art of Living
Art
and
of
all
living.
make that big difference. What do you say?
Yes, you definitely. And it's how strong we can get to support others. And when you're talking about this, going into that space, it requires some level of clarity inside on what do you really want out of life.
Mhm.
That's what I feel really can motivate us, be it the family, be it anything, finding a purpose to motivate, keep us in our spirit of why we are in this world, whatever the reason. That will get us to go into the searching of the truth, or searching for the answer, or the gurus that I say, and many people have access to gurus online right now, and that's such a huge blessing. Like Shishiji's the 21 days meditation challenge, because I didn't get a chance to be part of the work. I was very participative, and I was like literally doing the sessions because he do it at night. I was having some, so I do it just before I go to bed, and that was so powerful. And completing that was a huge one for me. And also, you remember you thought that a breathing exercise
Right.
in the global prosperity summit. I
Prosperity
tell
Summit.
you, that was yeah, that was a huge one for me, and it really supported in me getting in connected with my breath. Not, I was doing conscious connected breathing, and that goes on and off, it's as and when I want. But this one, creating a discipline, maybe that could be the next question you want to enlighten everybody. The discipline, creating the discipline that will support us to
Mhm.
get our mind be consumed with the right thoughts, the right action, and calming down. Maybe you want to share a little bit about that.
That's a very interesting point. And in one of the um, in one of his books, The Intimate Note to the Sincere Seeker, Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji talks about discipline and freedom. Often,
Yeah.
people think of discipline as an antithesis of freedom. Or if I'm disciplined, then I've lost my freedom. But actually, it is discipline that brings freedom. For example, this like if I have a discipline of waking up early, then it gives me the freedom to do so much more things. If I have the discipline of eating on time, then it gives me freedom to do the asanas, the postures that I really want.
Yes.
So many times when we look at it, though discipline and freedom seem to be opposites, they actually go hand in hand. Every person in this world wants to be free of all the negative emotions, all the burden that we experience. For example, a child goes to the school and says, "Oh, I don't want to." But by going through the school, the child comes out and then eventually is able to be an asset to society, an asset to himself or herself. So, in that sense, I feel discipline actually brings us freedom. In fact, Gurudev says that if you want to make a habit or break a habit, then it's best to take time bound vows, time bound commitments.
That's right.
When we think of discipline, when we make it indefinite, then it becomes like a burden. When I say I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, then there is so many times we break such commitments.
And then you become guilty, you become judgmental of yourself, you can even experience shame. It's like, oh my god, I didn't do that, all
Exactly.
the
It's like a
conversations.
cycle that goes again. It's like all the New Year resolutions people break on January 2nd.
Yes.
So Gurudev says very beautifully, he says, take a time bound commitment. So if you want to create a discipline, then don't say that I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. But if I say for the next 2 weeks I'm going to do this, then it seems doable. And once you achieve something, that gives you the strength to say, oh, I think I can do this for 3 weeks now.
That's right.
So if you ever have issues with discipline, and I'm sure there are so many people watching this Facebook live, and I guess if some of you are watching, you can also, I can see Serge has commented
Yes,
already.
Dr. Serge, yes.
I'm sure you can also put in your experiences of how you could maintain the discipline when we had time bound commitments. And I think this is a very, very interesting point, Dr. Aziza, that you've brought out, that discipline, to bring out the discipline in us, we need to really have some time bound commitments. And when we take baby steps, then we are able to go a long way.
And celebrate
Otherwise,
the baby steps.
exactly, exactly. And that's why I feel that if we can have, like how Gurudev gave a 21-day challenge, he didn't say meditate for the rest of your life,
Yes.
but with a 21-day challenge, it seems a little challenging, yet it is doable. And when you do it,
It
the
becomes
kind of
addiction.
completion that happens really helps you to keep going on and on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an addiction because just like in the Islamic, the 5 times prayers. If you're looking at it as
Mhm.
oh my God, I must do it, those kind of attention, then it becomes a chore,
A
and
burden.
people will want to, and our human mind wants to play trick on you and want to avoid it. But when you realize the intention of it, the discipline to for someone to think of God at least 5 times a day, in
Mm.
their midst of all the noise, at least they get the discipline, and then that becomes a way of life. Then the 5 times becomes 20 times and 50 times, and then becomes a 24/7 game. So then there is no attachment, it's just a discipline. And when people realize it, then they will feel very drawn to be able to do it, and it never become a chore. It becomes a joy of meeting, like experiencing God, like to time off and be in that space. And that's what meditation is about. Amidst all the issues, in the morning we set a time for ourselves, go through all these processes that will really rejuvenate us in mind, body, and spirit. And then when you're going back, after all the whole day's work, at the end of the day, you kind of unwind and go into the discipline of going back into that peace space, which is already innately in us. Maybe while we can kind of round up the session in the last part of it, when we say peace, we started off by saying that, it's in us. So we're looking for it outside. So how does, can you speak a little bit on the fact that it's already in us, and, it's already available, and people are not able to relate to it because they have a lot of stories happening. So can you just go a little bit deep, a little bit conversation on that, and maybe give one exercise or tip that people can use today to take back and use?
Every person, every living being on this planet in existence has experienced peace. In fact, every one of us, when we go to sleep, we are peaceful, otherwise sleep would never come. So nature has this amazing blessing that it brings us back to peace, and it's that peace that rejuvenates us. Just imagine the whole day we sit, we work, we get tired, and then we sleep, and we are fresh again to start a whole new day. So I feel that every one of us definitely has experienced peace. And when we stop doing everything else, that's when we have experienced peace. So I usually say that meditation is sleep with awareness, sleep is meditation without awareness. So, in a certain sense, when we are aware and we are resting, that is a much better quality of rest. And that's why when we can complement our sleep with meditation, then we are able to consciously access that peace within. If there was no peace within, when we would retrieve from the whole world, we would feel non peaceful. But everyone's experiences, when you drop the whole world, then you feel peaceful. So, in that sense, it just shows that we are made up of something called peace. It's like the atom, the center is positive, and the electron, the negativity, is just surrounding the cloud. As we go deeper inside, we find that positivity, we find that peace. And I think every one of us has built mechanisms to access that peace. For some people, it's chocolate cake. For some people, it's a sunset. For some people, it's exercise. For some people, there are various, a multitude ways in which we are able to access that peace. So, whatever way it is that we access the peace, whether it's through faith, whether it's through science, whether it's through activity, or whether it's through knowledge, all of these are valid ways of accessing that peace within. And um, this is why in the ancient Vedic tradition, the ultimate was always called moksha, which means you drop everything and you are that.
Yes.
So, so in that sense, I feel everyone, it's the birthright of each and every one of us to experience this peace. And I feel that uh, for a simple tool for us, all of us to experience this is, as you can see there, I'm in the ashram right now, and you can hear all uh, the monkeys outside making a lot of noise. The world is going to create noise, but in the midst of the noise, if it can be peaceful, that's what is really worth it. If everything is peaceful and I'm peaceful, that's no big deal. But when the whole world is not in peace, and if I can hold on to the peace, that's worth it. So one tip for the day, one tool for this session that we can take back is recognize the peace within. And whenever you feel not peaceful, then turn inward. Just close the eyes. When the senses retrieve themselves, and this is what in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Patanjali calls pratyahara, retrieving back from the senses. All our senses take us out into the world, and when we come back, we access that peace within. So, whether it's closing the eyes, whether it's settling down, whether it's not giving too much attention to how we feel or smell or hear, that retrieving from the senses is one of the best tools to access that peace within. And that's why, since the eyes really are our primary window to the world, when we close our eyes, that itself gets us back to the peace. And when we close the eyes, maybe our mind is so used to agitation, it wants to hold on to something. And when we give it something to do, then it gets back. So, listening to music, or or making some sounds. A lot of times, even if I don't know how to sing, but when I sing in the bathroom, I feel I'm the best singer in the world. So, music and and the breath, both of these can really help you when your eyes are closed. So either listening to music or humming along, this is a great way of taking the mind inward. And I think today, as part of this global peace series, let's take these two things back with us to make time bound commitments to create this habit of peace, and to take our senses inward as a tool to access that peace which is there within.
Thank you so much. I think that is very important. I know many people would think that like meditation, that means I have to keep quiet and I need to calm my mind. And here am I trying to calm my mind, and it will go everywhere as its job is. And so this idea or this tool that you have given simply means I just have to close my eyes and just either breathe, and breathing and following the breath itself, takes us away from the mind. It keeps us busy. I love it that you say that. And the other part is sing along and do anything that makes you feel the joy and peace inside. It's such a simple exercise for anyone to do. It's a no-brainer, just to
Yeah.
distract the mind to something good so that it kept itself busy. I think that's very, very powerful. Thank you so much, Kashi ji, for that. I'm very drawn to end the session, and I'm planning to do that for all our sessions in a Tamil prayer, which is a universal prayer. And I want to dedicate this to my Guruji, founder of the Universal Peace Foundation, which kind of founded kind of brought me back home to India, to the Indian roots of, the Tamil way of presenting it. So he has this Tamil Vartu, and so I would love to say that, and I would love to end all our sessions with that, so everybody can do the prayers together. And
Sure.
it's actually Sarva Sakti Siddhi Yagam. So I'll just say that, and it'll say with Varga. So Varga means long live or blessings. So we will bless all the various elements in the world together, and then we'll end the session. Will you allow that, Kashiji?
Sure, of course. It's a beautiful thought, and this is very
Yes.
nice.
Thank you so much. And so we'll start it off and with this, and then we'll end off blessing. And maybe you can end it with the blessings of, in your own words also. That'd be beautiful. And I'll say Varga. I think we kind of
Sure.
do that. Okay. அங்கு இங்கு எனாதபடி நீக்கமர நிறைந்திருக்கின்ற எல்லாம் வல்ல பரிபூரணத்தில் உள்ள பரம்பொருளாகிய பரஞ்சோதி மூலப்பொருளாக முதல் பொருளாக முழுமை பொருளாக ஆதியும் அந்தமும் இல்லாத அருட்பெரும் ஜோதியின் அன்பலைகள் நாமே. அந்த அன்பென்னும் அலைகள் அலை அலையாய் நம் உள்ளம் முழுவதும் பரவி, நம் இல்லம் முழுவதும் பரவி, சாந்தியும் சமாதானமும் சந்தோஷமும் அடைய, எல்லா உயிர்களும் இன்புற்று வாழ பரிபூரண நல்லாசைகள் சர்வசக்தி சித்தியாகும். ஆதியே வாழ்க, நினைவே வாழ்க, நாதமே வாழ்க, பரஞ்சோதியே வாழ்க, விண்ணே வாழ்க, நீரே வாழ்க, நிலனே வாழ்க, காற்றே வாழ்க, நெருப்பே வாழ்க, நீர் வாழ்வனவே வாழ்க, தாவரமே வாழ்க, ஊர்வனவே வாழ்க, பரப்பனவே வாழ்க, நடப்பனவே வாழ்க, மானிடமே வாழ்க, தொடுவறிவே வாழ்க, சுவையறிவே வாழ்க, வாசனை அறிவே வாழ்க, சப்த அறிவே வாழ்க, பார்வை அறிவே வாழ்க, பகுத்தறிவே வாழ்க, அன்பே வாழ்க, அறிவே வாழ்க, ஆற்றலே வாழ்க, ஆனந்தமே வாழ்க, அழகே வாழ்க, அமைதியே வாழ்க, தெய்வீகமே வாழ்க, தெய்வீகமே வாழ்க, தெய்வீகமே வாழ்க, சந்தோஷமே வாழ்க. எல்லோரும் ஓர் உலகமாய் நிம்மதியாய் செழிப்பாய் சந்தோஷமாய் ஆரோக்கியமாய் தெய்வீகமாய் நீடூழி நீடூழி பல்லாண்டு காலம் வாழ்க. Kashiji, you want to say any Varga?
So all I would say is peace, Valga.
Yes, Ji. Thank you so much for your valuable time. And I really love that everybody is in the call. And those who are watching the recording as well, you are going to love this. And please share it and share the love, peace, and joy. And in our mission with the Go Global Business School, we endeavor global business leaders experiencing this peace so that they can come together as one world. Global peace, creating powerful global economic businesses together. And that is the direction that we are taking with this world and the conscious space that we're operating from. So thank you once again for joining us today. And thank you so much, Kashiji, and the wonderful, amazing work that you do. And pranamams to Guru Shri Ravi Shankarji, Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. See y'all next week.